Alright guys, Mr. Markowitz again, today bringing you Unit 5, Lesson 1, talking about editing. First, let's start with the history, or should I say her story, since a lot of the first film editors were actually females. But, basically, late 1800s, a lot of the early filmmakers didn't understand that if you took, this strip of film and cut it and then added this strip of film and played it back, that the audience would understand that the two shots are related, all right? That didn't come until like the early 1900s with filmmakers like George L. Méliès with A Trip to the Moon, or Porter's The Great Train Robbery. It was something new and certainly innovative for the time, right? They realized that by taking all these different shots and cutting them and putting them together and assembling them in some sort of logical sequence, you could tell stories, right? So this is really where the first film narratives come from. They come from the process of editing, all right? So then came this debate on what really constitutes, the meaning in film. Is it the shot, or is it the edit? Is it how this shot relates to this other shot? So there is this Soviet or Russian filmmaker, Kuleshov, who did this famous experiment where he took 4 different shots and arranged them in a certain way, and depending on how they were arranged, they impacted the meaning of the film. Okay, so you see a close-up of a man's face, and then you see a bowl of soup. All right, and the audience sees these two shots together and they say, oh, the guy's hungry. Okay, great. Then you see the exact same close-up of the guy's face, and this time you see a child in a casket. All right, and again, it's the same face as we saw in the soup example, but now because it's paired with this deceased child, we're no longer seeing the face as being hungry. We're seeing it as, being, I guess, sad, mournful, whatever face you make when you see a dead child, and then same face, same close-up, and now cut with a seductive woman, and now the face is very lustful, right? There's also something called graphic matches. Now, with a graphic match, you're taking one image and you are pairing it with another image, and together there's something in those two images that look similar. Okay, so in this shot from Lawrence of Arabia, Lawrence blows out a match, and then the next cut is a sunset or a sunrise. I think it's a sunrise, whatever. Those two shots are linked together. The flame on the matchstick and the burning sun go together. Notice that they occupy the same space in the frame as well. Okay, so we would call that a graphic match. Here's another one from 2001: A Space Odyssey. The gorilla ape creature throws this bone into the air. Camera tilts up as it follows the bone, and now we cut to a space station. Notice that the bone and the space station are pretty much the same size, same shape, occupying the same space in the frame. So we would say that these two images, these two shots, are linked together with a graphic match. All right. Editing can also help the rhythm and the tempo of your film, just like music, all right? You can use what's called a long take to really slow down your film, sticking with a shot for several seconds, or in some cases even minutes, or, in a lot of action films, you want to, show a lot of fast edits, right? It's a car chase, so the edits are coming boom, 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 really quick, right? Here's a scene from The Bourne Identity, right? The action is happening so quick that we as an audience don't even get to really understand where we are or what's happening. All we know is, hey, this is fun, this is action-packed, right? Where again, if a director or an editor really wants to slow things down and take their time and really allow the audience to, reflect on these shots or these images, whatever, they can use a lot of long takes, like we're seeing here, again, from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Also with editing, what does editing do? Well, it helps you take out, the boring parts, right? So elliptical editing is just this process of saying, okay, we have a character arriving at a school, right? They're in their car, they're pulling up into the parking lot, and they need to get to class, all right? Well, elliptical editing says we don't have to show every step of that process. If we show just enough, the audience will get it. The audience will understand that this character was in the parking lot 1 second, and now they're in the classroom this second, and, time has elapsed, all right? So, again, character pulls into parking lot. We don't need to see them turn off their car, get out of the car, say hello to their friends, walk to class, go to their locker, say hello to somebody in the lockers, whatever. Then enter the building or enter the classroom, whatever, and sit down. You don't need to show all that because it's boring, okay? Unless something exciting or interesting or, something happens during that moment that, adds to the story, then by all means show it. But if it's just a character showing up to school and now sitting in class, you can literally show them coming into the parking lot, have a bell ringing, use that sound bridge, right, of a bell ringing that takes us now into the classroom, and the audience gets it, all right? And then finally, transitions. Transitions are, again, just ways of moving from one clip to the other, all right? I would imagine most directors, right, you like to fade in and you like to fade out, right, on new scenes. You start at black, and then you fade in, and now the video's over, and we fade out, right? Just a nice way to kind of introduce the film. I don't know. You can also have dissolves. Dissolves are when you you slowly, dissolve from one shot to another shot. Great for showing passage of time, okay? I don't know why iMovie, the editing software that most of you guys use, puts dissolves in as the default, but there's a time and a place for a dissolve, all right? If you're on a wide shot of me, and then you cut to a medium shot of me, and I'm still in the same location, in the same clothes, and I'm holding the same props, whatever, you don't need a dissolve between those two shots. They're literally happening at the exact same time. You can just cut, all right? But dissolves, great for showing a passage in time, and also great for showing people disappear. Ooh, see what I did there? Anyway, you got to keep the camera still, guys, if you're going to do a shot like that. You can also iris. That's where, you see it in Looney Tunes, where the kids still watching Looney Tunes these days, where, the edges of the frame will iris down to a single point, or iris up, whatever. Different types of shapes, diamonds and circles and squares, whatever, stars, and then wipes, all right? Wipes, you see them a lot in, like, the original Star Wars trilogy, or I guess any of the Star Wars films, where, part of the image will literally just wipe in front of the other, and hey, now we're in a new location, and there's tons of other different types of transitions between shots. Anyway, lab. This is your first lab assignment for 5.1. I decided to do the lab videos and the lecture videos together this time. You're making a video, but I want you to follow the storyboard that I provided for you guys, okay? And there'll be different examples of shot relationships, graphic matches, elliptical editing. All of that is built into the storyboard that I want you guys to follow, okay? There's only one character in the storyboard, so you don't have to worry about finding a lot of actors, but if you can't get anybody to act in your film, again, you can always use a stuffed animal, you can always use an action figure, it doesn't matter. I'm more interested in just the shots and the editing, right? And then there'll be some transitions that you need to include as well. Either a fade, you can decide. I would like you to fade in and fade out at the beginning and the end, but certainly the other dissolves types are up to you. Okay, there will be one example where we cut from one scene to another scene that happens, at a distant time in the future. Use a dissolve, use an iris, use a wipe. I don't care. I just want to see something between those two shots, just so you know how to do it. All right. But yeah, post your videos when you're all done. Again, guys, if you have any questions or problems with finding editing software or just using editing software, please let me know. But yeah, This is lesson 1 for editing. I hope this was helpful. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Whoa.